There we go. Hey guys, I'm Guy Davis, and I'm here with Pepper. No, here with Pepper. Here with
Yeah.
Pepper. And this is our artist check-in. It's the short version. If you want the long versions of these artist check-ins, we both have these as Patreon exclusives. And so you can just go to our Patreon pages, and both of us are Patreon / and then these down here on either side. Yep. So last week, I have the little tag here. Last week, Pepper, you were supposed to do more coloring.
Yeah.
Did that work?
So no. I did do some coloring work, but not in the respect of getting pages fully complete. I did a lot of planning for coloring.
Right.
Because I noticed that after doing some flats and stuff like that, like I had a lot of the same palette and everything looked like it was bleeding into one another. So, but the colors I chose were based off of like the types of trees that they were.
Right.
And since it's a heavily dense, like treed area, and it has green grass, and it has a lot of green.
So it's the palette is not indicative of your palette being a problem. It's indicative of your color or the location.
Right. And so basically, I played around and I toyed with how each green basically interacted with different colors.
Gotcha.
Cool. And so I got, since I have like a lot of shots like right at the beginning that are like in a morning light. So I did that warm, strange orange shadow color that happens every now and then.
Gotcha.
If you're from the southeastern United States, you're very familiar with it. If you, I haven't seen it like that ever anywhere else.
So, yeah, here it's very cold colors. We get a lot of cold colors, blues.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you call that an okay, or would you call that a butts? You didn't do it.
I'm gonna say it's an okay.
Okay.
I only got one of the watercolor paints done.
The other thing was watercolor paints.
Yeah. And then I did work on Treehouse Witch, but again, it's more writing. So pretty much I just got a summary done for the next chapter and decided that once I get to chapter 5, that's when I'm going to start writing the first part of it out. And then as a bonus, because this week I did get sick and it was very hard for me to work. During that
was coronavirus sick?
Not coronavirus. No. Much different. It essentially, I'm not going to go into details because it will gross people out. But right. I've
been noticing how with this particular culture now, anytime you're like, I got sick, they're like,
yeah, no.
Immediately is like, really?
No. I will just say that I have a lot of weird food allergies. And
perfect.
And that's
you can leave it right there.
Leave it right there, right?
So yeah, actually, our family, I've noticed that my wife and my kid have been passing colds back and forth. And because we're locked in a house, I'm sitting there like, well, it's only a matter of time before I get it. Because I mean, it just really is. So I'm expecting the cold to hit me somewhere along the line. Although I know how this will work. I will end up going the entire time in isolation without getting this cold and then be like really baffled by that. So there you go.
Or you'll get it once it's lifted.
Right. As soon as it's lifted, that's when I'll get it.
Yeah.
Even though we've been in isolation this entire time. So, okay. So your 3 things are more coloring, watercolor paints to finish, and Treehouse Witch, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my thing was world building doc, which turned out to be a much larger document than I thought it was. And now we're at 24 pages. It's actually something like it was 15 pages worth of questions to ask. Yeah. And I didn't when I first got it, it was like 70 or 100 pages, 200 pages or something. But there was a lot of triple spaced stuff. Obviously, they wanted you to print it out and hand write all of the answers. So they left you these huge gaps. So once I did a Control H and just searched the entire document for multiple paragraphs, I squished it down to 15 pages. But it is 15 pages, super dense. Came up with some really good ideas for the story or for world universe, which I'll talk about more in our Patreon videos. So, but I'm not done yet, and not for lack of trying. I've been working on this quite a bit. So, it's been a tough one to kind of get to here. So we'll get to the end of it, but I do feel like I did about half of what was left. So I should be able to wrap the whole thing up before next Friday. So I'm just going to continue that on one more week, unless something bizarre happens. But I'll show some stuff that happened over the week here on this computer at the Patreon video. So okay, what are your goals for next week?
Same ones.
You're just going to pass them through.
Yep, gonna pass.
I'll pass mine through. And that'll work as well. So we're heading for what's next week? Good heavens. Where is next week? Does anybody know what next week is? Okay, it's the 3rd.
It's the 3rd of April.
April 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll probably still be here in our houses. Okay, guys. Well, thank you then, Pepper. We'll see you next week then.
See you next week.
See you guys next week. Bye.